While New Jersey may not be the first state that comes to mind when thinking about wildfires, recent events have shown that the risk of these destructive events is increasing. Unfortunately, the outlook for the future is not a positive one, and it is likely that New Jersey will struggle with increased amounts of wildfires, destroying property and worsening the economy of the whole state in the years to come. According to state officials, a destructive wildfire that started at the night on the 11th of April in a heavily forested area of southern New Jersey has now spread to nearly 4,000 acres. This marks an unusually large East Coast wildfire. The primary driver of this increased risk is climate change, which is causing temperatures to rise and precipitation patterns to change. Hotter and drier summers mean that forests are more susceptible to wildfires, and as temperatures continue to rise, this risk will only increase. With longer and hotter summers in the forecast, the forests of New Jersey will likely become drier for longer periods of time, making them more prone to ignition and more difficult to control when they do ignite. In addition to climate change, human activity is also contributing to the risk of wildfires in New Jersey. As more people move into forested areas, there is a greater chance of human-caused fires, whether it's from a campfire, fireworks, or other sources of ignition. Additionally, the increasing amount of development in forested areas can increase the number of ignition sources, such as power lines and electrical equipment. With more people and more infrastructure in forested areas, the potential for wildfires is only going to increase. New Jersey had for a while gotten an ever-growing population, but in recent years the population has been getting smaller. New Jersey's decreasing population could be viewed as a positive development for decreasing the potential for forest fires in the state. As people move away from the densely populated areas, the risk of human-caused fires decreases significantly. Moreover, as New Jersey's population decreases, there will be less development, which means less urbanization, less construction, and fewer new buildings. This trend could help preserve the state's remaining forested areas, which have been under increasing threat from development in recent years. As a result, there will be fewer potential fire hazards caused by construction or other human activities. While there may be some potential benefits to New Jersey's decreasing population, there are also several significant challenges that the state could face in the long run. One of the most significant issues associated with a declining population is a potential decline in economic activity. As people leave the state, there may be fewer workers, which could result in a decline in tax revenue and economic growth. This, in turn, could lead to a decline in public services such as education and healthcare and make it more difficult for businesses to attract and retain employees. This has been a big worry both in New Jersey but also in New York. Most people moving into places like New York do so because of job opportunities, not because of a lifestyle change or retirement. Another challenge associated with a declining population is the potential for an aging population. As younger people leave the state, the median age of the remaining population may increase, leading to a higher demand for healthcare and other services typically associated with an aging population. This could put a significant strain on the state's healthcare system and lead to higher healthcare costs for residents. New Jersey has currently more millennials leaving the state than entering. Similarly, many baby boomers and Gen Z are leaving New York than there are entering. This is contributing to an aging population and could lead to a struggling economy ahead of us. Additionally, a declining population could result in a reduction in political power for the state. With fewer residents, the state may have fewer representatives in Congress, which could make it more challenging to advocate for the state's interests and secure funding for essential services. Another major factor contributing to the increased risk of wildfires in New Jersey is poor forest management practices. Many forests in the state have not been managed properly, leading to an accumulation of dead wood and other combustible materials. When there is a lot of dead wood on the forest floor, it acts as fuel for wildfires, making them more intense and difficult to contain. In the absence of effective forest management practices, wildfires can quickly spiral out of control, putting lives and property at risk. New Jersey has a long history of wildfires, dating back to colonial times when Native Americans used controlled burns to clear land for agriculture. However, over the past few decades, wildfires in New Jersey have become more frequent and more intense, in large part due to the impacts of climate change. Historically, wildfires in New Jersey were largely confined to the southern part of the state, where the Pine Barrens region contains large tracts of pitch pine and oak forests that are adapted to fire. These forests have evolved to withstand and even benefit from periodic fires, which help to clear out dead vegetation, promote new growth, and maintain the open, savanna-like landscape that characterizes the Pine Barrens. However, in recent years, wildfires have been occurring in other parts of the state as well, including the more densely populated and developed central and northern regions. This is due in part to the fact that climate change is leading to warmer, drier conditions that are conducive to wildfires. Higher temperatures and reduced precipitation are drying out vegetation, making it more susceptible to ignition and rapid spread. In addition to the direct impacts of climate change on wildfire conditions, other human activities are also contributing to the problem. Development and fragmentation of forests and other natural areas can create more ignition sources, such as power lines or discarded cigarettes, while also making it more difficult for firefighters to access and control wildfires. Furthermore, the accumulation of fuels in forests and other natural areas due to decades of fire suppression has also contributed to the problem. When fires are suppressed, dead vegetation accumulates, creating a buildup of fuel that can feed more intense wildfires when they do occur. Overall, the history of wildfires in New Jersey reflects a complex interplay between human and natural factors. While fires have always been a part of the landscape in the state, the increasing frequency and intensity of wildfires in recent years is a cause for concern. As climate change continues to impact the region, it is likely that wildfires will only become more common and more challenging to manage. Increasing wildfires in New Jersey can have significant economic impacts. One of the most immediate impacts is on property values, as homes and other structures in areas prone to wildfires may become less desirable due to the increased risk of damage or destruction. This can lead to a decline in property values, which can have ripple effects throughout the local economy. There are currently over 2 million properties in New Jersey that are at risk of being affected by wildfires in the next 30 years. That is about 63% of all the state's properties. Wildfires can also have a significant impact on tourism, which is an important part of New Jersey's economy. Areas that are popular tourist destinations may be at greater risk of wildfires, and if these areas become known for the risk of wildfires, tourists may choose to go elsewhere. This can have a negative impact on local businesses that rely on tourism dollars, such as restaurants, hotels, and shops. In addition to property values and tourism, wildfires can also have indirect economic impacts. For example, wildfires can lead to higher insurance rates for homeowners and businesses in areas prone to wildfires. This can increase the cost of living and doing business in these areas, making them less attractive to potential residents and businesses. Furthermore, the cost of fighting wildfires can be significant. The cost of equipment, personnel, and other resources required to fight wildfires can quickly add up, and these costs are often borne by taxpayers. In addition, the damage caused by wildfires can result in costly cleanup and restoration efforts. Finally, wildfires can also have long-term economic impacts on the environment. The destruction of forests and other natural resources can lead to soil erosion, loss of biodiversity, and other ecological problems that can have economic consequences, such as reduced agricultural productivity or decreased water quality. In conclusion, increasing wildfires in New Jersey can have significant economic impacts, including declining property values, reduced tourism, higher insurance rates, and costly firefighting efforts. While it is impossible to completely eliminate the risk of wildfires, taking steps to reduce the risk and mitigate the impact can help protect both the environment and the economy. With all these problems, what is the local government and other parties doing to stop these wildfires and help their communities? Well, New Jersey has taken several measures to protect its communities from wildfires. One of the key ways the state is working to reduce the risk of wildfires is through forest management practices. The New Jersey Forest Service manages over 800,000 acres of public and private forest land and employs a variety of techniques to reduce the risk of wildfires, including prescribed burns, thinning of dense forest, and creating fire breaks. The state also has a number of programs in place to help homeowners and communities prepare for and respond to wildfires. For example, the Ready, Set, Go program provides information to homeowners about how to create defensible space around their homes and how to prepare an evacuation plan. The state also works with local communities to develop emergency response plans and to provide training for firefighters and other first responders. In addition to these measures, New Jersey also participates in regional and national efforts to manage wildfires. The state is a member of the Northeast Forest Fire Protection Commission. It coordinates wildfire management efforts across the Northeast region, and the state also works with federal agencies like the U.S. Forest Service and the National Park Service to manage wildfires in federal lands. Overall, New Jersey is taking a proactive approach to managing the risk of wildfires with a focus on forest management, community education, and preparation, and regional coordination. While wildfires will always pose a risk to the state, these efforts can help minimize the impact and protect communities and the environment. The outlook for the future is grim, with climate change, human activity, and poor forest management practices all contributing to the risk of wildfires in New Jersey. It is likely that the state will continue to struggle with these destructive events in the years to come. In addition to the immediate risks to life and property, wildfires also have long-term impacts on the environment, contributing to soil erosion, loss of biodiversity, and other ecological problems. Fortunately, there are steps that can be taken to reduce the risk of wildfires in New Jersey. Improving forest management practices, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and creating defensible space around homes and other infrastructure are all important steps that can help mitigate the risk of wildfires. However, these steps will require a concerted effort from all levels of society, from individuals to policymakers to forest managers. But it's not just in New Jersey that fires have become an active problem in recent years, but also the state of Florida. Watch that video here.